Katie, and here I am with Sean, and we have a real treat for you today. We're going to be starting our little collaboration of sewing the Star Climber pattern together. So I'm going to introduce Sean there. Sean, go ahead
G'day.
and tell everybody about yourself, a little bit about yourself and your channel, and then we'll get started.
Sounds good. Well, my name is Sean. For anyone who does not know me, I have a channel called The Guy Who Sews, and basically what I do is I take everybody along as I create beautiful quilts. And I have a live on a Saturday morning. I have a podcast on Sunday morning. You can go watch that after you hang out with me here this morning. And then we also have some other videos. I do collabs with different people. I am a ambassador with Cotton Cuts and all the other goodness. So yeah, if you enjoy what you see here with me today, go over to the channel, check it out. If you like it, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe notification, and don't forget to hit the like button here on this video if you enjoy it as well, because it helps Katie out immensely.
Yep. Make sure you get over there and definitely subscribe to Sean's channel if you are not subscribed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the screen in just a minute so we can look at this pattern that Sean and I are going to work on. And then Sean's going to show you how to traditional piece the courthouse stairs pattern. I'm going to do it using foundation paper piecing. So, but I'm going to let him have the show on that part of it. And then I don't, I'll try to show you how I'm doing it. This is new, you guys. Sorry. All right.
Hey,
Let me
we're
see
building
what.
the ship. We're building the ship as we fly it. So, or the plane. I don't know. Building the ship as we sail it. Whatever they say. But yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Like the pattern calls for you to do it foundation paper piecing, but I like to be a rebel and do it my own way. So I figured, okay, can we do this traditionally pieced? And it's fairly easy if you want to do this one. Now the star that we're going to do next month might be a whole different kettle of fish. I'm still trying to figure that one out, but this will be fun. So um, don't let me take over here, Katie. I'm bad. I'm used to being the host. So how
Oh,
are we how are we planning on doing this?
okay. Well, I want to say hi to everyone in the chat. Hello,
Okay.
Chloe, Tasha. Hello, hello. Good morning. Hello. And this is early for me, especially when I've had no sleep and been sick. So, hi, Tasha. Hi, Donna Dixon. Welcome to the chat. I'm not sure. Let me see. Anyone else come in? Hello, Christina Stromberg. Welcome, welcome. Hello, Chloe. I hope I didn't miss anyone.
I
So,
think we caught
welcome.
everyone.
I think I did too. So, okay. So, what I'm
And
going to do, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, Christina, I think is my friend from Sweden that is tuning in as well.
She's one of our Nordic buddies.
Hmm.
Sorry for the coughing. That's something y'all are going to hear a lot of today. So sorry. I apologize ahead of time. There's nothing I can do about it. Hi, Lori Colgan, too. Hello, hello. All right. I'm going to go ahead. Hey, Brenda H. I'm going to share the screen so that we can look at this pattern. All right. Okay. So as we've mentioned, the name of the pattern is called the Star Climber. Can everyone see that?
Yeah.
Can you? Okay. All right. Okay. So this pattern is by Fat Quarter Shop. So it's a Fat Quarter Shop pattern, and I will share the link
Like,
in a couple of minutes in the live and
actually,
let you.
I've got it right here, Katie. I'll throw it in.
Okay. All right. So there's two
Done.
sizes. There's the table topper, which is 39 and a half squared, or the lap, which is 58 and a half squared. I'm going to be doing the table topper size, and Sean's doing the lap size. Um, it doesn't take tons of fabric to make either one. You'll need 2.5 yards of background for the lap. I mean, for the table topper, and 3 5/8 yards of background for the lap. 3/8 of a yard for the border, 5/8 of a yard for the border, Binding is a half yard for the smaller one, 5/8 for the bigger one, and backing is 2 3/4 for the smaller one, 3 7/8 yards on the lap. Now, the rest of the what you need for the scrap part of it, it just says scraps. And when we're talking about scraps, I'll show you what I have for scraps. And I'm sure Sean's going to show you, he has a pile of scraps too. I am going to be using 4-inch woven star foundation paper for the star, and I'm going to use 4-inch courthouse steps for the foundation. And then down here, it tells you what you need to cut on the pattern for both sizes. And I've already cut the background for the courthouse stairs. And I am just pulling, I've already cut all I need for that. And then as far as the scraps, I'm just pulling out of a scrap and I'll cut as I go along with it. So it's really not that hard. And then, like I said, Sean will tell you how to do the traditional because I haven't figured that one out. But this is what it looks like before you sew it all together. It's
Yeah,
going
and
to
I think
be
it's going to look
super
really
cute.
nice, especially when
Yeah.
it's scrappy, you know. So, um, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, for the directions for the like cutting out the fabric for traditionally pieced, how I'm doing it for the courthouse steps. Just follow what it says on the pattern itself. Just cut it out to the exact dimensions that it says. That's what I'm doing, and then we'll just walk you through it. It's gonna be pretty. It's gonna be pretty easy. Like how Katie does a paper piece versus how I do it traditionally. It's gonna be very, very, very similar. We're still going to follow the same thing. We're just not going to attach it to paper, basically. So it's going to be pretty simple. Now, when it comes to the star, which we are going to tackle next month, that might be a little different. You know, as I said, I'm still trying to work. Well, I haven't really focused on that too much yet, but we have a month. Yeah, thankfully, Katie said, let's do the courthouse steps first. I was very thankful when she said that. 'Cause I was like, I'm still figuring out the start. But yeah, for this one here, just cut it out as prescribed. And we'll sew it together. I'll show you how it's all done. And that way you have flexibility. If you want to do the paper piecing, you can do it that way. If you want to do traditional, it's like a recipe. You can kind of tweak any pattern you like to suit your own needs. It's something I've always heavily believed in, and I thought it'd be something fun to do with this project, just to show you how it can be done.
Yep. Are you going to show them your sample?
I can if you'd like me to.
Yeah, show them your sample and then I'll show them my sample.
Okay, so this is my sample.
Let me screenshot you so they can have an up close and personal look at it. There we go.
There we go. I always forget the camera's in the middle of this laptop because on my phone it's on the left.
That
So there we
looks
go.
awesome.
It's very nice. These are just prints I have. I actually have yardage of like half a yard of each of these colors. And I just thought it'd be fun to put these together. It's all in the same collection. I'll do scrappy stuff for the rest of it. I think I don't know, I'm making it up as to go along, and that's part of the fun of this project is you can just kind of do whatever you want, you know. You can do it, it's encouraged to do it scrappy, but if you want to do it with yardage, you know, go right ahead. It's not going to hurt anybody. It's this is some fabric I bought ages ago from So Yeah, and I made a couple of blocks with it, and I still have a bunch of it left over, so I thought it'd be good to start off with this. But I'll probably switch up and do some, you know, other prints and that sort of thing further down the road as we progress with this project. Okay, so uh okay. Chloe says I love it. Did you use Kona pepper? No, I did not actually. I thought about that, but I want to make sure I have enough of that left for Toasty the Dragon. Kona pepper is my go-to background. But I
Awesome.
yeah, I didn't want to use it all up and then have to go buy another bolt for Toasty and potentially have two different dye lots for that particular project. So yeah, I thought about that, but no, I'm just using a standard black for this one here. So yeah, but otherwise it would have been pepper. So there we go.
So what I'm going to use is I'm doing mine in batiks. No surprise there. Okay, so this is my background.
Well, that'd be nice.
And this is a batik background. It's not regular cotton. Okay. And hold on a minute. And then I have containers full of smaller pieces of batiks, and I'm just pulling out of it. And I'm just randomly picking what I want to use. And here's my first sample block.
Well, that's pretty.
Thank you. So see, it you can do whatever you want with it, you know. I didn't think about using black. I have some black batik in there, but the batik has uh some daisies on it, and where they, randomly placed them in the black. And I haven't used it yet because I'm not sure what I want to use that black for. So I'm just going to use the off white because I'm fine with that. So that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, and I figured that, you'd probably use a white background, and I figured I'd use the black, and that way we can kind of see how the same pattern with two different fabrics can look totally, totally different as well. So I thought it'd be fun to do it that way. I kind of, probably should have discussed that first, but I kind of figured I had a pretty good chance of you doing that. So thankfully I got that right. Okay, so I'd love to hear in the audience who is planning on sewing along. I've seen on Katie's promo video and my promo video that a lot of you are interested. I see some of you in the chat have said that you are planning on doing this, but are you planning on sewing along with us now today, or do you think that you're just going to watch us this morning and then maybe do it a little later on? Because I know when I'm in the chat, I can't do two things at once. So I am definitely curious to see who's sewing along and when you'll plan on starting along with us.
I think a lot of them sew and chat at the same time.
Oh, that's awesome. I wish I could do that. I get distracted. I get too involved in the chat and then I don't get any sewing done. So um, if I watch a live or something like that and I'm not actively chatting, I can sew quite happily, but I can't do two things at once. I don't know.
Tasha said she's watching and deciding.
There you go. Andrea says me, me, me. So I'm taking that to say that
She's
she
going to
is
sew it.
sewing. Christina's sewing along with us as well. Okay,
Hey, I'm
Andrea's
happy
still
to
in
hear
bed.
that. What? Oh, she's still in bed. I got it.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, like, you know.
Hey, Andrea, did I you need to check your email because I sent you an email last night. Okay, and did anyone else come in? And Christine retracted something she said. I'm
She
going to
said she
watch
was
Go ahead.
sewing along now. She misspelled something, so she retracted it so she could spell it correctly, is what I saw. So yeah, there you go. Okay,
Tasha said
Laurie says she's got to watch because she just got up. Yeah, I didn't. If I wasn't on live this morning, I'd probably be still in bed because I was up till past 1 o'clock this morning recording my podcast. So if I'm a hot mess this morning, we all know why.
I didn't sleep last night. I've been sick, as most everybody knows already, and so I didn't have such a good night last night trying.
I know.
But
I'm
I
sorry,
will
but
take a nap.
you're a
No,
trooper.
it is what it is. Nothing I can do about being sick. So I'll take a nap later, probably.
Yeah, that's good. Nothing wrong with a nap. So for me, what I am doing right now is I'm going to chain piece mine just because I've already got one together. I know it goes together. And so I'm going to start, if you're looking at the paper piecing, for instance, or if you look at the pattern, it will show you this is piece one here in the middle, and then pieces two and three are to the side of it. So I'm just going to chain stitch my black to either side of my color prints in the middle. So that's where I'm going to start.
And what I'm going to do is right now I'm folding the paper so I can know where to put them on the back of this paper. And I always mark the back of it so I can see better. And I put the numbers on the back so I can also see the order that they need to be put in. That way I don't make a big boo-boo.
Yeah, you don't
And
want to do that.
yeah. And I'll show y'all what the back is going to look like in a minute.
So I was just thinking about this. Next time, what we should do is we should have a race. Let's see who can do it quicker, traditionally or FPP.
Yeah, you'll probably win hands down because I'm not a fast sewer.
Well, I'm not a fast sewer either, so I don't know. It'd be fun. All right. So, Me too. I'm a visual learner. Yeah, I'm definitely a visual learner there too, Miss Joyce. Was it? No, hang on. Who said they were a visual learner? Oh, Brenda. My apologies. Yeah, I'm very much a visual learner, so that's really, really neat.
I think there's a lot of us that way, actually.
Yeah, I've noticed that. I think a lot of us are introverted. I think a lot of us are visual learners. I think it's nice, but it's nice in today's technology that we have the ability to do that. Like, 20 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to learn how to sew, I don't think, because I wouldn't have gone to a class. I would have been too nervous being in there, not knowing what I'm doing and all that good stuff.
It's interesting when you're introverted. Some of I mean, I don't know about you, but um, I think I'm introverted because of my environment I grew up in. And what did I just do? But so school was my escape.
I'm definitely introverted. If you looked up the definition of introverted in the dictionary, my photo's probably sitting there looking at you. So I've taken tests every time it says 100%. So I just tell people that that's how I am because
There's
I've
nothing
actually
wrong
been,
with it.
because some
Mm,
people think I'm, like rude or something like that sometimes because I don't openly come out and talk to new people. Now, you're all my mates, like in the sewing community, it's different, because we have a common interest and that sort of thing there. But yeah, if I have to go to an event with a bunch of people, yeah, I tend to be the wallflower. So there we go. All right. So Chloe says she's going to start a little later because she has to learn how to use the paper. Just take your time. Like my thing with FPP, foundation paper piecing, I'm still very new to it. I'm sure you've all seen me, or anyone that follows the channel has seen me do Toasted a Dragon. I'm really, really taking my time with that. I think if you just double check, triple check, quadruple check first, just take your time with it. The fun with this pattern is it's super, super easy. This is a great pattern to learn foundation paper piecing on. And if you're unsure and you don't want to worry about right side, wrong side, use a solid or use a batik like Katie's doing, because in that way you don't have to worry about did I put it on the right side or the wrong side, because there is no, well, batiks apparently there is a right side and a wrong side, but if you get it backwards, you don't have to worry about it
Not no,
because
yeah, it's not noticeable at all.
it's not. Yeah, as I said, I've learned that there is a right side, but yeah, I've never noticed it. So that'd be my advice to anyone starting out is, yeah, just use a batik, use a solid, and then it's one less thing you have to stress about. That way all you have to do is make sure the paper's the right way and the fabric's sitting in the right spot, and then you're golden.
So since she mentioned that about not knowing how to do it, I'm not let's see, how do I put this? I have learned what I've learned on my own. So I am no expert, but I'll tell you what I do to keep from getting confused. Because this is the actual front side. Hang on, I'm going to use the spotlight for
Hey,
you.
you're good.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what the front side of this looks like. This is what the front side looks like. And all of most foundation paper piecing has these numbers on it. Now, you're not going to be sewing on the front of this though. You're going to be sewing on the back side. So what I do, this is me. I do this for me because I can get confused very easily. I repeat. You see how you have the numbers, the lines on the front? When I bend the paper along the line like this, then I take a pen and I draw the line.
Oh,
And I
okay.
and I get all the lines drawn on the back, and then I put all the numbers where it's supposed to be, so that when you're because when you turn this, when you put your fabric on this back side, you want this is how I'm able to see where to place them. So if I'm going, and I'll show you an example. So if I have to put, like, we're going to start with number one, which is right here, and number two is over here, okay? And you're going to put it face up. You're going to line it up the way it needs to be lined up based on that. And you put one face up, and then you're going to put another one face down because you're going to start with two pieces on the back. and then you'll sew that one side. And I'll show you how I started out in a minute. I'm just showing you how you're going to line it up on the back. And I bet I just confused everybody. But I'll
I
show you
know.
when I have the color piece cut, because the very center is going to be the color on this particular block. And you'll notice that this paper has shading on it. Hang on a minute, because I've already folded it, so it might be hard to see. So let me show you one that's not been bent. You see how you have the gray? That's where
Yes.
all the color fabric goes. This is the background, the light color. Now, in Sean's case, Sean is doing the traditional, but if you wanted to use the black as the background, you would still use this format for using this lighter color is telling you that's the background, and this is all the color you're going to use. So even if you use the black background, you just keep following the same format, and that's what that looks like. And the first piece that we start with is a color, which is the first. And then you have number 2, which is the background, and you're going to be sewing it on the back of the paper. Joyce says she's never done foundation paper piecing.
Yeah, a lot of I've seen some people do it a lot and they love it, and some people have never done it. And I went many, many years of sewing without doing foundation paper piecing, but for me, it's a nice tool to have in my toolbox because that way, if I see a pattern that uses it, I can't, yeah, I can say to myself, okay, yeah, I can give that one a try because I know how to do it. And it does seem very, very confusing at first. Like when I first saw all these directions, like you do this and you do that and you do this, I was like, good golly, Miss Molly, like, um, what's going on here? Like, it's some of it's backwards to what you're used to. So, yeah, it's a great technique. It's really good for doing like like sharp angles and stuff. Like, let me just pull this out real quick. Like this here, you can't really do traditionally because of these sharp angles and that sort of thing there, which is you can do it to foundation paper piecing. So, but the good news is like this project that Katie's got, like her, how she's doing it. This is a great way to learn because you're just working as squares and rectangles. You're not doing anything super fancy.
Yeah.
So I think this is, yeah, if you want to learn, this is a really, really good way, and it's a really inexpensive way because all you do, the paper's what was it, $11? I think it was for the.
No, it's $10.
Oh, okay.
Nine
I must.
dollars and 98 cents.
Okay, I think I might have been looking on the Sew Emma page. I think hers was a little
It's
more.
just it no, it's the same price on the Sew Emma page too. Cause I looked.
Oh, okay.
Because you get, let me see how many pieces do you get in this one. You get 42 sheets.
As I say, I thought it was 42. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was $9.98, even on the It's So Emma page.
And then you don't have to print anything. Like that's the nice thing is like, and it's on that like print paper, right? Not the printer paper, but the stuff that you normally use, like the thinner, easier stuff to rip out stuff, right?
Yeah, the paper seems thinner. Yeah.
Which is really good when you go to rip it out. Like that's how the pattern I just showed you a second ago is, and it's really nice. It's easy to sew on. Like I've done it with regular paper, and it's just fine and dandy. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's easier
Yeah, I
this
don't
other
think it's
way.
all that hard to use it. I mean, you could use some people buy newsprint and they print on newsprint.
That's
I
the one.
mean,
That's the name I was
newspaper
thinking
print, I
of.
think that's what they call it.
Yes.
You can use vellum paper. You can, I mean, a vellum paper is just a type of printer, typing paper, and it's uh thinner. Uh, a lot of times people use vellum paper for tracing, but
Okay.
you can also run vellum paper through the printer, and the printer won't eat it. So
Yeah. That's
I'm cutting a color so I can show you when I do this first seam. But I wanted Sean to have the spotlight for a bit so he could show you how to do this traditional piecing because you know
Yeah, sure, no problem. I'm ready whenever you are, and that's a bit
All right, I'm
wonky,
gonna
but that's
spotlight
okay. Well,
you so you can start, and then I'll have a couple of these seams done where I can show them what I did.
all
Ready?
right, I'm ready. Yeah, go for it. Okay, so I have done this little part so far, and I'm chain piecing these along. So you'll see seven of these in just a minute. And so, yeah, these are just 1.5 inch squares that I've done the color in the middle and then black on the outside. So that's basically pieces 1, 2, and 3 if you're looking at the paper piecing section. And then from here, we'll just attach the next one on top. It'll be a different color, but that kind of gives you an idea. So yeah, it goes together pretty quickly. And I think with the paper piecing, if you once you get set up, like once you get 1 and 2, like pieces 1 and 2 for any block that I do with that, it always is the hard. It always seems to take the longest. And then once you get going, it just like snap, 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 you go along pretty quickly. So
Yeah, once you get yourself in a what do you call it, in the groove,
yeah.
it comes together. You're not going to have that much trouble with it. This pattern is not hard. I mean, I thought I would have a little difficulty, paper piecing
Oh.
because it's small, but I couldn't sleep last night, so I came in here and I played with it a little bit. I'm like, oh, it's no big deal. So if you chose to do the 6 inch one, it's going to be a breeze to do.
Oh yeah, well, actually, I picked the 6 inch because, like, normally, like you know me, I love tiny piecing, but for this project, I was like, you know what, I'm going to give myself a treat. I'm going to make my life just a little bit easier for once, and I chose the 6 inch block. So yeah, I'm proud of you, Katie. Like, you're a trooper for doing the 4.
Yeah, I didn't want to do the bigger because this is a new pattern. I wanted to make sure that, and small sometimes is, I like the challenge sometimes with the smaller.
Yeah. All right, Tanya is here. Good morning to
Hey,
you,
Tanya.
and Chloe's doing the 6 inch as well. So, okay, Joyce has a good question here for you, Miss Katie. And this is something you and I talked about off camera earlier, and I'd love to see, have you show everybody. And she asked, do you use an add a quarter or eighth ruler when you're doing it that small? How do you fold the paper? How do you do all that stuff? I'd love for you to show everybody how you do that because it'll give them
Yeah.
another option.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to sew these first two seams and I'll show you how I um, make sure that they're a 1/4 inch. I can't, as you know, I'm not in my sewing room and I'm not exactly sure where my add a quarter ruler is due to the chaos in my sewing room. So I have, and a lot of times I don't even grab the ruler. I just pick up one of my creative grids and
I've done that more than
hang
once.
on, I'm on spotlight you just for 1 minute so I can show them this ruler.
Yeah,
So all creative grids, I want to show you this. A lot of rulers, hang on, we need a background on this thing.
there you go.
Can you see that? Yeah, I think, or I might need a dark color. Okay, so along one, you got two sides to this ruler on this creative grid. You have one side that has this. There is a 1/4 inch line right here.
Yep, I see it.
Uh-oh, that hesitate. And it's shaded a little bit, just like they frosted it. Down here on the other side, you see this is a 1/2 inch down here on this other side. This is a 1/4 inch. And you can use this just like you can with an add a quarter. So if you don't have an add a quarter ruler, then just use a regular ruler that has this same 1/4 inch on that one side. You don't have to spend money. If you don't own an add a quarter and you don't have the money to buy one, use your ruler. Because that's
Or
what
if
I
you
do.
like, or if you like Katie and I and you misplace it, like I know where my outer quarter roller is right behind me right now, but for the longest time it was in one of the drawers. Chloe actually sent it to me when I first bought Toasty a couple of years ago, and I thank her very, very much for that. But yeah, for the
I
lo-
actually have one. I just don't know where the heck it is.
so the outer quarter rule for anyone that doesn't know what is this.
Yep.
And
I'm
basically it's
gonna
it's like
spotlight
a
you so
regular
you have
ruler, but it has
a
whoops,
lip on it.
sorry. has a lip here, and this lip here that you can see here is 1/4 inch. And so it makes it a little bit easier for you to do your 1/4 inch when you flip it and that sort of thing there. So that's an option. But like Katie said, if you do not have one, you don't feel like buying one, or it might be one of those things like you want to start off. You're not sure if this is going to be for you. Don't go ahead and buy it. Just start off with a regular ruler or something like that. And then if it's something that you enjoy, then maybe go ahead and get one later on. Save yourself the expense, because you may try foundation paper piecing for a couple of little projects and go, hey, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. I never want to do it again. So there you go. But that's always an option. Chloe's
One
also
thing,
asking if you're using a glue stick, because a
and I'm
lot of
about
people
to
use.
that in just a minute. One thing I want to add to what Sean says, you do not have to have add a quarter ruler. You don't. You can use your ruler that you're cutting fabric with, and it's just as effective. Yes, the add a quarter makes it more easier to deal with when you're doing paper piecing, but is it a must?
No.
No, it's what your preference is. So, because I am not going to sit here and preach, you got to have this particular ruler. No, you do what is easiest on your pocketbook. If you
Yeah.
can't afford one and you already have, because these rulers, all of these rulers are expensive.
Hmm.
Even add a quarter ruler is expensive. And you may not want to spend the extra money because you already have a set of expensive rulers. So you have to do what's best for you. Because I'm not going to promote, say, you have to have this, and this to do this. The other thing is Chloe asked about a glue stick. I don't use glue sticks. Why? Because I use pens. Even as small as this here block is, this piece of paper is, I know how to strategically. I use very small straight pens. I mean small, the kind where I have to pay. I have to keep tape over my pressure foot plate because they'll fall in the holes. There's these
Oh,
screw holes.
geez.
There's these screw. Retry that again. They're
Screw
on my
holes.
yeah on my on, and I can show you an example since we're talking about this stuff. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm gonna unspotlight you for a minute, Sean,
Yeah, sure.
and I'm gonna spotlight myself so I can show what I'm talking about. Because I use on when you're using very small pens, especially for stuff like this paper piecing, on your you see these little holes right here?
Oh, yeah.
This is I don't know the size of these little holes, but I can tell you that these itty bitty pins that I use, watch this, they will go right through that hole. Wait,
Oh, I
one,
believe it.
where's my little pins? Because I've had it happen. In fact, I've got to get some pins out of the bottom of my machine now. And when you're sewing and you're going along, you don't even notice that it happens sometimes, but the pin will go right through that hole.
Yeah, that wouldn't
And
be healthy.
no, it's not. I mean, the first time it happened to me, I about freaked out because I realized what had happened and I thought my machine would be damaged. And when you take all this off the top of the machine, you can't see the pin. The pin's
Right.
like weird. And what happens is it's falling all the way through to the bottom of the machine. So, but anyway, I was just pointing that out. That's the downsides to using such a small pin. But this pin is so small, the metal part of the pin, that when you're putting it in paper piecing, it's really not bulky. Now, if you put that pin in the way of where the pressure foot's going over that seam, you will have difficulties. But if you strategically use it in such a way, then you don't, it's not a struggle to do it with paper piecing. I don't use a glue stick because half the time I forget I'm going to order one and then I forget to order one. So I don't even own one.
Me either.
Now I have this glue and I've seen Kimberly use this glue, but it's messy. And I just don't feel like putting glue on my fabric. So I don't.
Yeah.
So it's up, it's like this. You do what you're comfortable with. And if you're not comfortable with doing that, don't do it. If you're comfortable with it, do it. I mean, it's just, I'll show you in a minute because I'm about to finish the seam. See, I have a pin
Yeah.
in the back. See how I did
Well,
that?
okay.
And right here on the right is where I made the seam. Right
Oh,
here.
okay. There you go.
The pin's over here on this side. So I make sure that I put on that, and it did not move. And I'll show you what I mean by that. Hang on a minute. I'm gonna open the seam, and I'm going to use my little seam roller to press it open. Now keep in mind, I still have to trim these, but see, it didn't go anywhere.
Oh, that's nice.
No glue on here at all.
Yeah,
It's just
so a lot of
one pin. That's it.
yeah, so a lot of folks will tell you to use like the glue sticks like the, or was it just the regular glues like school glue sticks, and they
I
work really,
thought
really
elbow
nice at
glue would
count.
work. Yeah.
I'm a rebel because I always I'm like Katie. I always forget to go get a glue stick. I just put the fabric on there and then say a prayer and hope it stays. And so far that's worked.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't necessarily recommend that as an option. Like I think the pins might be a safer option for everybody, but can you do it without anything? Yes, in
yes.
theory.
Yes.
It's a little more challenging, but I've made those two pieces of toasty so far, and it's stayed together. Like it's
I think I think it boils down to how confident you are with sewing. If you're a
yeah,
confident sewer and you've been sewing a long time and you know that when you put it on that side and you turn it over and you move it through your machine, that it's not going to move with no pins or no glue, that's perfectly fine. If you're like me, you're less confident, but you're comfortable with pins, use pins. If you're even less confident and you prefer glue, use glue. I mean, it's
yeah,
just
I'll
whatever
definitely do.
whatever works best for you, because I don't feel, the one thing that I have to say about this whole thing is if we can save money. That money you save can buy fabric.
Yep, you can do use it for the next project.
All right, and I'm gonna put this back on you so they can see what you're still doing. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
Oh
take
no,
over,
you're fine.
but I am gonna show them this. I wish I could. Can you guys see me on the smaller camera at all?
I'll let you know in a second. I got the screen up, but it's 20 seconds behind us. So
Is that's not acorn glue, is it?
yeah, I think it is
That's
because that's what. Yeah,
oh,
I
it's
think it is.
permanent glue. Interesting.
Yeah, it's the permanent
This is the
stuff.
glue I've
So
seen, but this is the glue I that Kimberly was using for a while before she switched to the glue she's using now.
yeah, because like that's what. Yeah, dragonflies were. Someone said yeah that would not be good because it doesn't wash out or anything. Yeah, and I was a bit concerned about that too. But I was like, I don't know enough about it.
Yeah,
I
that's
have
why
a
I don't use it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's probably a good thing you didn't use it, you know. So I mean that's a good thing. You did good there.
I just prefer to do it the simplest way I can, but for my brain, I guess.
Yep. So all I'm doing now is I'm just building my way out. I've already done the, let me just pull this real quick. So I showed you this part earlier, which was just the first strip, 1, 2, and 3, I think it is. And then after that, we're just putting the next color on. And so it'll look like this. And then we'll put another green or whatever color I'm going to use underneath it, and then we'll put another black on this side, and we'll just keep working our way out until we get to the end. So it is, once you get started with this, either way, traditional FPP, it goes together. It's a fairly easy process, and it's really nice, especially if you chain piece them like you're doing 4 at a time, 8 at a time, whatever you're doing. It goes together pretty quickly. So after a bit of pressing, there we go. It's not really showing the design of the fabric very well on this camera for some reason. All right, let's see. He was asking, can you put Sean on sewing table? I'm guessing that's the, she might be asking the view of me doing the sewing. I'm assuming that's it.
Yeah, probably wanting to see what you're sewing. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so green.
or whatever your camera is doing,
Yeah.
because I've got you spotlighted.
Yeah, but I think she's looking for the other.
Yeah, bring your other. Oh, you want me? Gotcha. Never mind. Let me. I'm sorry. Thank you for pointing that out. My bad. Let me fix this. Now I get it. Sorry, I'm a little slow on
Yeah,
the block. Here we go. There you
there
are.
we go.
Now you can see what he's doing.
Yes, the green is 3. Sorry, I don't mind me. This is how I am doing my colors. I wrote it all down 'cause I'm doing 4 different ones. So I'm rotating the colors out for each one. So I'm sitting there just referring to that. So I'm doing it right. Okay, so green is 3. So 3 in the middle is 2 on the outer. Just that one. Okay. So basically, I just put it in like so. And if you're doing this traditionally, you will notice, and this is something that Katie was telling me earlier, Kimberly, who designed this pattern, does as part of her writing, is it's going to be you're going to have to do some trimming as you go along.
Yeah, she does. She does the pattern so that you trim down, so that you have because she, she's all about being accurate and trying to make it as perfect as possible. So
Yeah,
that's
because
why.
you'll see here the black's overlapping the color here on both sides a little bit. So once I get the other one on, I'll go ahead and trim that. Now, I saw that last night too, and I thought I did something wrong, but that's not the case.
It's just the way she does things, but if you're not aware of it when you download the pattern and you're reading it, and you measure your block, and you're like, well, why is my block off? It's because you weren't aware that she does this.
Yeah, I
You know,
ran into that last night. I was like, well, you know what? I've already cut the fabric. I'm not doing it again. I guess we'll figure it out when we get to the end. Just trust the process.
yep. I mean, and it's not going to matter if you do all of them the same size and then sew them all together. It's not going to matter anyway.
Oh, speaking of which, might be easier just to put all 4 cameras back on so everyone can see what everyone's doing at the same time. I don't know, maybe. Um, this is supposed to finish at 6.5. Like if you do the paper piecing, it's a 6-inch finished block. So like it's 6.5, and then by the time you take your seam allowances out, it goes down to 6. Now when I did this, I thought it was going to finish to be the same size. It actually finished to be about 7 inches, and then 6.5 finished. So this maybe is a hair bigger, and so I may have to trim this down to 6 to match the stars. I'm not sure yet. We'll figure it out. Well, that's future Sean's problem because we'll worry about the stars next month.
Good
Because Katie,
morning, Ruth.
have you told everybody what the plans are for this sew along? Because like this is month 1 and we got to do it nice and slow. What is what is the plan for this so everyone can kind of follow along with this?
The plan is that we're going to be doing this, as Sean mentioned, slow and easy. The second thing is we are, and I'm sure he's going to remind you as I remind you, especially when a week or so before the next live, Sean and I are going to be rotating the live. So I started the live this go around for month 1. Month 2 will be over on Sean's channel. Month 3 will be back over here on mine. Month 4 will be on his. And depending on how long it takes us to do the pattern, um, the reason we're not rushing through this is because I I'm a believer of let's enjoy the process. Fast sewing, I don't know how you can enjoy the process by rushing through it in a month. I don't have the time to make a quilt in a month. I just don't, and I won't stay focused if I cannot enjoy the process. So this is one
Oh,
of the,
definitely.
and Sean works his tail off because he's got a job, full-time job, two two young people to take care of, and a wife. there's his day is even shorter than mine. So I wanted it to be slow and easy, and you can come up with all kinds of songs for slow and easy.
Yeah, I don't sing. Okay, so Dragonfly's Donna is asking you, are you doing 4-inch blocks or six? Katie is doing the 4-inch. She's the more adventurous one of the two of us, and I'm doing the six, which is totally opposite because normally I'm the one doing all the tiny piecing, like this
That's
bunch
right.
of
You're
goodness.
doing the small stuff. It's me
See,
doing the
this this
small
is this
stuff.
is my this is my love language. I love doing these small tiny
That's so
pieces, but
cute. Oh my gosh.
yeah, I love the mushroom. I still have to put the bottom on. But yeah, this is the mushroom is what I worked on this week. So yeah, that one's really, really fun. So that's what I normally do. But this time, yeah, I was like, you know what? I'm doing the bigger blocks. Plus I'm one of those people that likes I don't like doing the same block 50 or 60 times where I can avoid it. So I was like, okay, I can do a lot less blocks if I do the 6-inch versus the four. So, yeah, gave myself a little break. Plus, so there's a couple of reasons I did it that way.
And
But
the
it's
other
fun that
thing
you're
is,
doing the four.
yeah, and the other thing is we're starting on the courthouse stairs first. Um, we haven't made a decision on how many we're going to get done before the next go around, but I just think that if we let me see how many rows is in this pattern. Because this it's the same amount of rows. It's just that mine will be smaller than Sean's, but it
Right.
still has the same amount of rows in it. So let me have a real quick peek. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 9 rows. Okay, so yeah, 9 rows, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4. So basically, because it's squared, you're having 9 rows down, 9 horizontal rows, but there's 9 blocks in each row. So we're introducing the courthouse stairs this month. Next, and I think that do you want to do? I mean, we haven't really decided on how many rows we're going to do a month, or we may just do all of the courthouse stairs to start with, or we may introduce the star and then let you guys decide on, how many you want to get done a month. And we're just gonna, I mean, we could do a row a month and drag this out for 9 months, but that's not the plan. Maybe we could do 2 rows a month and we'll be done a little shorter than that. But
I
we're
think we
not.
just, yeah, I think we just wing it and see what everybody wants to do
Yep,
and that sort of thing there. Maybe we could put a poll up on one of our channels, in the next week or
good
so and
idea.
see.
Yeah. How
What
many
what do
rows?
you want to see? What do you want to see next? Do you want to see more of the courthouse steps, or do you want to see the stars next month? I think that'd be a really good idea. But I think if we do that, we need to do it maybe the next week, so that way everyone has time to go and have their fabric cut. And if we are doing the star next month, I need to figure out how to do it. So
Yeah, you're
yeah,
gonna have to teach that to people who are doing the traditional, which what you said it, and I agree. It looks like you're just gonna do half square triangles, unless you're
yeah.
gonna do Y seams, and I'm not teaching Y seams.
Well, there's a couple of different trains of thought for me to do this. I can just do all half square triangles. I could also do the strips, and then cut and do a couple of what are those things called? Flying geese around the edge. There's a couple of different options floating around in my head, and I may do some practice blocks of each and see which option works best for me. So that's gonna be a fun little challenge. So that's
Wait,
definitely stay tuned for more details, um, and that sort of thing there. So oh
Donna, let me get the link. You can actually buy the star paper from the It's So Emma webpage. They do have it in stock there. It's just not on Fat Quarter Shop's webpage. Let me share the link because they are not out of stock on the It's So Emma, unless it got out of stock this morning. Because when
the
me and
six
Sean
inches
looked at it,
out.
the 6 inches out on the It's So Emma, it wasn't
Yes.
last night.
Well, this morning I looked earlier. I'm going to hit the refresh button. Yeah, it says notify me when in stock.
Oh my God, they must have cleared it out this morning.
Quite possibly,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So
So when does it say it's going to be back in stock?
it doesn't. It says notify me when you can put your email address in, and it'll tell you when it's back in stock. So
Okay, so if it doesn't get back in stock by the time we hit our next month, then we'll continue on with these.
yeah,
traditional of what Sean's going to show you how to do. Um, and then I was fortunate, huh? But they were, are they sold out of the 4 inch too?
That I don't know.
I bet you it's just the 6 inch because not
It
everybody
could
wants.
be, yeah.
Yeah, because it doesn't surprise me because here's what happens with back quarter shop in these papers. Um, she mentioned the Star Climber again during the live on Friday, this past Friday. Every time she mentions something about a pattern where it's paper piecing and how she's doing that particular pattern for the month, then suddenly when you go to Fat Quarter Shop's website, it's gone, totally wiped out. But yeah, Chloe says email Fat Quarter Shop to find out when they're going to get it for the 6 inch. That's a good idea. That
Yeah, the
might be
4 inch is still in stock.
to
So if you
do.
want to go small, you're still good, but you might not want to hang around too long on that because if the 6 is gone, a lot of people will be like, okay, let me try the 4. So it's something to consider. But yeah, if it's one of those things where um, it's not available, we may just stick with this. And then if you want to go ahead and do the stars without us, you always, because I think Andrea said she wants, it'd be nice to do the star next time around so you can assemble the blocks. That's an option too. Or we may just switch to the stars and you can always, if you haven't got the stuff, catch up with us later on. We're not going super quick. It's not like with Michael Schumacher or Mario Andretti going down the road. If you do something else next month and we're doing something different, we'll all catch up and hit the finish line pretty close together as
We're
well.
not
So
we're not going to leave anyone behind. So if you're not able to get them, we can continue on with the courthouse stairs, I guess is,
yeah.
because there's plenty of them to make. So,
Oh
you
yeah, for
know,
sure. Yeah. I think what we'll do is, if it's okay with you, Katie, of course, is let's put a poll up this week
okay.
and let the viewers decide, if they want to see, that's what they want to see us do next month, really. So if they want to see us do the stars, we'll do the stars. If you want us to see us do more of these, we'll do more of these. And just, whatever they want to see is what we can do, because we are here for the people, right?
Yep, that's right.
No, and that's true too. Chloe says check your local quilt shop too, because she bought hers from the local quilt shop. So yeah, maybe if your quilt shop normally stocks its So Emma products, there's a very, very good chance that you can just run over to your quilt shop in the next couple of days or give them a quick phone call and say, hey, stick one behind the counter for me. I'll be down to pick it up soon.
That's
As
a
well.
good
So that
point
is
because I've seen It's So Emma in a lot of places. So,
Yeah, I have too. So yeah, that's a very, very good point. And then it's also a good way to support your local quilt shop. So that's always, it's a win-win for everybody. You don't have to pay shipping and that sort of thing there. So it really is a good idea. Okay, so Joyty is asking, did I get a new machine? The answer to that is no, not yet. I have been in contact with some people. I'm getting some very good pricing, and that sort of thing there. So that's not the big issue right now. I've got to make sure I have enough money, of course. But what I want to do is there's so many different brands, there's so many different things. I don't know what I want. I was not planning on being in the market for a new sewing machine right this minute. But we have a fairly large quilt show coming to town in 3 weeks. 4 weeks? I don't know. Less than a month. And they got to have all the major brands. They got to have, Genomi's going to be there, Farf, Brother. I'm guessing Juki's going to be like, they're all there. So I figured I'm going to go there and test drive them all. Like, one-stop shopping. I can go there, I can check them all out, see which one it is, and then go with what one works best for me. And then, price wise and that sort of thing there as well. But I just think it was fun. Be good just to test drive everything rather than having to drive from town to town because some of these brands, there's not a dealer close to me. Like, I
what
think what was
brand
it?
are you not seeing or close enough to you?
Oh, who was it? I think it was Far for somebody. I was like, I want to go check out some of their machines. And I was like, I looked up my nearest dealer and it's somewhere down in North Carolina. I'm like, I'm not driving 4 hours to go test drive a machine, especially when they're coming. They're coming to town in a few weeks. So yeah, and I live in a fairly large metropolitan area. It's not like I live out in the, backwoods somewhere. So
I was a little shocked that FOF was so expensive here.
sorry.
Oh, a FOF machine here is super expensive.
Yeah, they were comparable to the Genomes and everything else. Yes, so I'm overwhelmed of choice, and I'm one that wants to sit, because I'm probably going to be plonking out a good chunk of cash, if I buy something with more bells and whistles than what I had before. So I don't want to just blindly buy something online, not knowing what I'm getting myself into. So yeah, and this machine works beautifully, so it's not like I'm in a rush. Like, if that was the only machine I had, yeah, I'd probably go ahead and get something just to continue down the merry road, but I don't have to do that, thankfully. So
You know what?
yes.
4 days ago, this machine arrived at my house 5 years ago.
Hmm. So you've had it five, yeah.
Now, I didn't use it for 10 months because I was afraid of it. So technically, I've only been using it 4 years and 2 months. And I'm like, okay, we've had it this long and it's not even been serviced because I don't have a service to take it to. I have to put it
Right.
in a box and ship it to Denmark, which means if I do that, I'm probably without a machine for 2 months. And I don't have a backup machine and I'm not sewing on that singer. No, not happening.
You may want to take one of those courses that, kind of teaches you how to service your own machine. Now, especially if your location, I think that might be some money well spent once
They teach people how to service their own machine.
yeah, there is a company. I mean, there's more than one company out there, obviously, but there's one that's very, very highly recommended. They were at QuiltCon last year. Lady's name is Andy. I forget her husband's name. Russ knows him quite well. Apparently, they went to school together or something, and they teach you how to like take the thing apart and clean it and do a good deep servicing. I think the course, I think if I remember correctly, it was like $200 or something like that. But especially for you, like, by the time you ship it to Denmark and pay 100, euros or whatever it is to clean and send it back, I mean, you've made your money back. So that might be a really good option for you to look into.
I do know how to take the bottom of my machine off because when that first pin had fallen through the plate, I'm on the Genome group, two Genome groups actually. And
Right.
when I wrote in there, I was panicking, and they're like, wait, I can help you with that. She gave me a link, and it's the service manual for a service person on doing things with the machine, and it walks you step by step on how to pull the bottom of the machine off.
Well, there you go. That's an even better option. That's cheaper. So,
Yeah, and it
oh,
was pretty interesting because I was a little afraid because you have this button over on the right hand side that is cover the bottom of the machine goes over the top of it because you use it for something. And I thought that it might be a problem, but it turned out it wasn't because I
well,
didn't
that's
know if it
good.
would slide back on there properly, but it did. It went right back on. I didn't have any trouble getting it back on at all.
Yeah, and that's very true too. Like, you've got all these online resources you can always ask folks about too. So, yeah, I mean that for you, that might be something that, especially since you don't have a second machine and the logistics, it's not like you can just drop it off at the local quilt shop down the road. That might be something, doing your own servicing, might be a very, very good idea for you to look into.
Yeah, we couldn't get to Denmark like we planned, and um, so I don't know. I'm maybe when I do make a trip to the United States next year, I'll probably since I'll go. Well, I don't know. I may not even go through Denmark because I'll be fine. I may straight shoot it from Nuke to Newark, and that means I
Yeah.
won't go to Copenhagen. But at some point, I need. But I know that Nikolai, at some point, will have to go to Copenhagen or somewhere in Denmark for more education to up his license. And when he does that, I get to go with him when he does that, and I can look for another machine then. In the meantime, I just pray that nothing happens to this one.
Yeah.
If it
And
does,
I'm
I'm in
praying the
well,
same thing with this right now until I go buy another one. So,
it's like I'm in deep doo doo if something happens.
yeah. That's why I want a second machine because like I like this one. This machine is wonderful, but I've always ever used it for quilting only. I've never pieced on it. And
Okay,
I don't
we have
know.
chatter going on.
Yeah,
Dragon
Sheila says, go ahead.
Donna says Fat Quarter Shop and It's So Emma are the same company. Kimberly did another cow or quilt along using it in late 2024 and the 6 inch sold out then. My local shops don't carry, but downloadable ones by others are on Etsy. Ah, look at there.
Well, there's
Uh,
an option.
Tanya says, okay, Brenda. Chloe says, good timing, Sean. And then Joy T says, I love my FAF. It's a workhorse, but want a Juki so I don't exhaust my FAF. I have no desire for a Juki. Too loud. Donna
Yeah.
said, I also, it is also great for mindless sew along with answer to Brenda's, what she said. She finds it nice. If you have a lot of the same block, it's faster. This is very true because once you make this first, once you piece the, or whichever you're doing, whichever way you're doing it, and you've already got the hang of it, you can just mindlessly sew the block until you got all of them done. So
So, I
that's
mean,
a good.
I'm doing well 7 at a time because I cut it enough for 8, because I figured because I was busily cutting this fabric at 10:30 last night. I'm definitely last minute. If you told me I'm like the king of procrastinators. So yeah, I
That's
was cutting this stuff, but I figured I'd do 8 blocks today or close enough to it. So this is what I've got done so far. So it's coming together quite easily and fairly quickly. Oh wow, it's already 9 o'clock. It's days racing along.
an hour
Yeah,
now.
Sheila says test driving is a good idea. I might do that at the show just to familiarize myself with a different machine just in case. Yeah, I mean, yeah, because Sheila's just up the road from me. She's fairly close to the show as well. So yeah, I think it's a great idea. Like if you're looking at a new machine or you're worried the one, yours is getting a little older and you have a quilt show nearby, especially one of the larger ones where all the dealers come to town. Yeah, go play with them. Like that's what they're there for. They want you to get familiarized with their products. So that way, if you want to go make a purchase, you're already informed as to what you might want. So, all right. So they want me to show it again. So that's it there.
Nice color yellow.
Yeah, I bought this. I can't remember if it was 4 1 yard cuts or 4 half yard cuts from So Yeah. It was one of their online things they did a couple of years ago. I just love the colors, and I was like, I have no idea what I'm going to use this for. And I was sitting there trying to figure out what I wanted to start this project with. And I was like, you know what? These 4 colors would go to well really, really nicely in this courthouse square, especially with the black background. So I just cut these out and I'm going to add some other scrappy stuff to it down the road because we have a lot more blocks to do, as Katie mentioned earlier. But yeah, I figured we'd start off with matchy matchy. And then so like I'm alternating the colors as well. So that'll be fun. Okay. Chloe says she's a big procrastinator too. I'm in good company. Oh yeah, Laurie was asking about you getting a puppy. What's the latest scoop on that?
Our Colette or our puppy thing fell apart.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's because of what's going on with Russia. The
Okay,
whole thing fell apart because
okay,
that's where the puppy was coming from. I haven't heard anything from her, and things have deteriorated when it comes to Russia and what's been going on with that, and more sanctions were added to Russia. So I'm pretty sure that's why I haven't heard a thing from her. She's not
right.
posting or nothing, so I don't know what's going on. But yeah, so it fell apart, y'all. It's
Okay.
nothing.
Well, the right puppy will come along. Like it just. I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm guessing it just
Someone made a
wasn't meant to.
suggestion on checking, see if there was any breeders in Canada, and that might be worth the effort. And I may start doing that, so it might be potential to happen next year since I'm going to travel to the United States anyway.
I was to say, yeah, just grab one while you're here. You
Well,
know.
it just depends on if there's any breeders having litters of puppies with the same kind of. I oh,
Another option is too. There's a lot of darks and rescue groups in the US. You might be able to.
no, I don't want to deal with health problems with dogs that I don't know anything about.
Okay. Fair
Yeah.
enough. All right. So let's see. Sherry is here with us. She says she slept in. That nothing wrong with that. It's always good to hop in and you're never late. You know, this is like an open door party. You can come in and leave as you see fit. It's good to see you there as well. Donna asked me to show the finished block, which is this one here. And so that's how I did it finished. But yeah, I'm doing 4 different ones. So like two of them will have yellow at the top, two will have green and purple and that sort of thing there as well. This will be fun to change it up a little bit. So that's what I have planned. But you can do 8 different colors if you want. Like I just figured just to start off, this would be fun to do it this way. Uh,
Before anybody asks what does that mean about the health thing, we don't have a veterinarian in our town. We haven't had a veterinarian in 5 years. So standard Dotson, Tanya. And by getting a pure breed that has uh, reputable bloodlines on them, you generally don't get a dog with health problems. And Nora is a good example of good bloodlines because she's she's strong and healthy, and she doesn't have, you know how you see some Dotsons have the shakes. They're nerve. Some are nervous dogs. She's not. She's not afraid of anything.
right.
And so I prefer to find bloodlines that people have that know about that bloodline. Say, oh, this is a really strong bloodline. And this particular bloodline from Russia, she's been around for a while. And a lot of people from the United States are buying from her bloodline, but with the sanctions, nothing's happening.
Yeah.
It's sad because she's paying the price for leadership.
Yeah. I know it's hard. It's hard for everybody involved.
And now there's more tariffs and stuff starting. I'm glad I have a stash because I don't know what's going to happen with all these tariffs.
Yeah.
Y'all say a prayer because it may be I can't get my hands on fabric.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of Darksons too. That was like that's what I asked for my 21st birthday, and that was my I that's when I got my first one, and he was a good little dog. I left him here with my sister when I moved here to the United States, and then
Such great dogs. I mean,
oh yeah, they're a wonderful breed. You know, we all have our favorite breeds, and mine is definitely a Dachshund as well. And we had little Bandit first. I got him as a rescue, and we had him for 6 years. And little Finley that we have now, she's half Dachs. Her daddy was a Dachshund, and mum was a Beagle. So she still carries a lot of the Dachshund traits
yeah.
as well.
When
So
I moved here, I brought with me Ichi, and Ichi was 3/4 mini Dotson and 1/4. I'm pretty sure she was Jack Russell Terrier because of her ears.
right,
And the biggest chief complaint I had about her, but there's her issue probably stemmed from being born in the middle of a forest fire. And the first 6 weeks of a puppy's life, if any kind of trauma occurs, it could set that dog's adult life to be the way they are all of their adult life when they reach adulthood.
right,
And this guy that was breeding puppies, he was basically what you call the backyard breeder puppy mill kind of thing.
yeah,
And how I come about getting her was my daughter comes home and says, Mom, this guy's being evacuated from Osceola National Forest and he has all these puppies on the ground and they need to get them all adopted out. And I'm like, really? We have 4 big German Shepherds. Why do we need another dog? But. And I'm like, okay, I'll go have a look. And when I saw Ichi, I'm like, oh my God. You know, and I didn't know how she would be with the big dogs, but the big dogs protected her. It was pretty funny. And
yeah.
that's how I come to being exposed to a Dotson's attitude. And she was a little pistol when she was younger.
Oh, I believe it.
You
I
could
just love
always,
it.
you know, Dotsons are famous for one of the biggest things Dotson are famous for is their stubborn streak.
Oh,
And
heck yes.
you could tell her to come and she'd look at you and you could see, do I listen and come or do I follow my nose? And sometimes the nose won out.
Especially a Finley because she's got that beagle in her. So she's got 2 different hounds in her, like, You take Copper, who's our full beagle, for a walk, and his nose is to the ground, tail up in the air the whole time. So,
Yeah, and the
yeah,
tail, you always know they're happy with Dachshunds because that tail's like this. It's like a flag and it's always going, you know.
yep,
They're pretty comical.
yeah. But Bandit one we had for the he was a long-haired dachshund, so his tail was like a flag. You could see the long hair flapping around. It was so funny.
They're hilarious when they're like that. You always know they're happy when their tail's up like that. When it's down, you know something's the matter.
Uh-huh. Usually it was bath time was when that was with that dog. His tail would
Barf,
be down.
barf time?
Bathing time, bathing time.
Oh, babe. You know what? Nora is not afraid to take a bath with us in the shower. It's interesting. When I picked her up from the airport and she had been in that little carrier, and I guess the person who was handling it wasn't the owner that brought her to the flew with her. She
Yeah.
used a um an airline attendant happened to be a friend of hers, so she um just used sent the dog with the airline attendant. So the airline attendant must have um kept the dog in the in her carrier and didn't take her out to the toilet like she should have. And I'm like, okay, so the dog smelled like pee.
Oh,
And first thing I did is when I went in the bathroom, I took her in the bathroom with me, and I she didn't know who I was. You know, she was used to hearing Russian, so no English there. And
right.
I had left the shower stall door open and ran the shower, and I was there taking a shower. She come walking in there like it was nobody's business.
Oh, that's
So she,
interesting. Yeah.
so I'm sure that the breeder had bathed her before. So when she came in and I went reached down with the, took the thing off the wall and moved it down toward her, she didn't run off. And so even in our bathroom now, she won't run off. She'll just stand there and let you wet her.
No, you're very lucky because all every dog I've ever owned hates bath time. So
Yeah, she's good about taking baths.
you
And
are
then
you're very, very lucky and very blessed in that respect. You remember my dogs in Australia? My mother gave it a bath once, and he went outside and rolled around in the dirt, and so she saw that, and he got a second bath. He was not happy about that.
somebody's talking about Aussie dogs. Yeah, Aussies are cool. And then they're talking about abused puppies,
Yeah,
miniature schnauzers. My
it's
mom had a miniature schnauzer. My mom also had a beagle at one point. 90-pound golden retriever. Okay, so y'all know, some of you know me and knew that I had a German Shepherd dog. I've had German Shepherds all of my adult life, but when Coda passed, he was my last because I'm not physically. I'm getting old, so keeping up with the German Shepherd's just not feasible anymore. And so
yeah. I've always
we're just converting completely to Dachshunds.
That's how our family is. I've converted everybody to dachshunds. Like I was the first. Little Enzo was the one I got for my 21st was my first. That was our first dachshund, but um, after that, my brother got two more, and then
They're just lovely dogs. I mean, this
yeah,
one I got right now, Nora. Oh my gosh. One of the things is that there's a story about how I got her. Um, I had been talking to a couple breeders in the United States, and there were some of them's waiting list was like because we lost Ichi unexpectedly. In fact, we lost her while I was in the United States. She passed away while I was gone. And so it was, very upsetting to come home and not have her because I'd had her 11 years. And so I wanted another Dachshund because they're really great dogs. And when I started reaching out, I joined two Dachshund groups and to find out how to go about looking for the right breed and the bloodline and everything. And a lot of them that in these groups, they're breeders in these groups, and they were like, well, the waiting list for adoption is 18 to 36 months. And I'm like, what? Especially for a female, no less. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then someone directed me to Elena in Russia because they had bought a couple of her puppies. And when I contacted her and she answered me, she said that her waiting list is about 18 months, especially because of my specifications. I wanted another black and red female. Do you know what the
Right.
percentage of getting a black and red female in this day and age with all the colors of dachshunds are?
Probably that.
1%.
Oh, okay. So I was going to say 5, so I was a little off.
1%. But I said, well, go ahead and put me on your waiting list. And if you do get one, and no one else is ahead of me on that color, let me know. And she said she would. And we had been on the waiting list 9.5 months, I guess. And I got a message from her on Messenger, and she says, I have something to tell you. I just had a litter of puppies the other day, and this was in December. And she says, lo and behold, in the middle of that litter was one black and red female. And she thought of me when she saw that puppy. She says, this was meant for you. I'm just thinking it is. And then she says to me, she says, but I got to tell you something. I'm like, okay. She says, this whole litter is a noisy lot, meaning they were very boisterous, yappy kind of dogs.
Right.
She said, don't be surprised if Nora's not really verbal. Nora's very verbal. Not like barking and everything that moves. That's not what she meant. Like, y'all seen her come in here and tell me I need to go outside, or tell me, Mom, I want to be fed, or Mom, I want your attention.
Yeah, Bandit did that to me. Like, if dinner time was at 5, he'd come barking at me right at 5 o'clock and go, okay, dinner time. So, yeah, I get that.
And she's definitely food oriented.
I think
That's
all
all
dachshunds are.
that's all she thinks about is eating. And y'all haven't heard a peep out of her because she's sleeping with her daddy. Because I guess he's
That's what.
still asleep. That's why it's been so quiet. She's still in bed with him.
That's one reason I like doing lives this hour in the morning, because I get up, I feed the dogs, I put them outside, and then they come in and go to sleep. Like, they're sitting right next to me, sleeping, both of them. So
Yeah.
you feed
I'm
them and they
coming
go to
along with
sleep.
this block too, by the way.
That's good. Yeah, I'm making some good progress.
Rita says there's several in Arizona. A mini Aussie is very active. Does a mini Aussie have a double coat on them? An 80-pound dog gets in the bathtub when I tell her to. That's funny. 145 pounds, puppy? Is it fun? Ha ha. Oh my God, I can't even imagine 145 pounds. 85
I'd
pound
hate to
dog.
imagine I'd hate to imagine the food bill for that thing.
Yeah, an 85-pound German Shepherd was more than I thought was, sometimes hard to handle.
Yeah. Brenda says a mini pan taps my foot with her paw when she wants to go outside. We installed bells on the back because we have a sliding glass door, and we installed these bells. It hangs at the door, and we tried to teach Finley how to use it, and she picked that up very, very quickly. So yeah, she'll ring the bells, and if you don't come quick enough, she'll just like at one point she used to start hanging off the bells.
Uh-oh.
Because you'll hear it get more and more violent. Like the first ring is just a little tap, hey, I want to go outside. And then after a while, it's like ring, 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 ring. It's like she's just like going to town on it. It's like, hurry up. I told you 4 times already. I want to go outside.
Something's wrong.
And it's usually when I'm on a phone call with a customer or something like that. I'm like, I can't get off to let you outside, dog. You got to wait a minute.
Somebody has a bull mastiff. Oh my God, those are such big dogs. There's
You're talking about,
a neighbor down here in this neighborhood. He has 2 Corsos. And I thought mastiffs were big. Those Corsos are big.
yeah, I've heard that.
They are humongous. They're kind of a little bit scary to look at them, but I'm not scared of dogs. But man, they look at you like they could eat you for dinner. And his
Yep.
dogs are not mean at all. They'll let me come up and pet them. But I also don't show fear, so that might be why.
Yeah. And dogs can usually tell yeah, who's good for them, like who's a threat and who isn't. So there you go. All
My
right.
Dotsie looks like my Dotsie looked just like Nora. She ate twice what our 100-pound pit bull did. Yeah, it's insane the way she. If you put food down, and she's still on raw food, I haven't switched her to kibble yet. I don't even know if I'm going. I may do like part kibble, part raw because I prefer the raw anyway. But
Yeah.
if you fill her bowl literally to the top with raw, she would gorge herself on it. It's just insane how much food she'll eat. A mini Australian Shepherd will be about 20 pounds. Oh, that's less than what Nora weighs because Nora
I was
weighs
going to
probably
say, yeah.
25 pounds, I think.
Yeah, I think Finney's about 22.
Yep. And males weigh even more than that on a standard Dotson.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not some little unless you get a mini Dotson. And mini Nora, not Nora. Ichi was a mini, and she weighed 6 pounds, I think it was. But I, the Arctic weather is a little bit hard on the smaller dogs.
Yeah.
If you get a mini, at least with Nora, she's missed tough stuff.
Well, especially the snow and stuff up there. Like poor little Bandit, I had to go out there and shovel a path for him because like he loved to run around in the snow because I think he was like between a mini and a standard. Um, yeah, the snow would sometimes be taller than he was. Oh, that looks amazing.
Yeah, it's coming along. Oh, and I'm not holding this right. Sorry, guys. So I'm coming along with it.
I always thought Bandit was a mini, but you're saying that 6 pounds, 4.5 pounds for a mini. He was like 20 something, and well, at one point he was a little heavier. We won't talk about that.
They're
But like
20
even when he
something.
got,
They're probably the standard.
then he must have been a standard. Um, I always thought he was small, but apparently not. See, I'm learning stuff today too, which is really cool. So here we
So
go.
a female standard Dotson could weigh between 22 to 26 pounds, and a standard male can weigh between 25 to 29. But if you have a very active, if they're very active, like for show dogs, they're being shown and stuff,
Mhm.
the owners tend to exercise them a lot so that
Right.
they weigh even less than that because they travel with them a lot and it's easier to. And I have never seen an overweight Dotson in a dog show ever.
No, well, they're not. They've got to follow the standard for the breed. So if they're too big, they're not going to fit that standard. So
Exactly. So my overweight Dotson would not.
yeah, no. Little Bandit got overweight, and half his problem too was like you didn't see the weight on him because he had all this long hair. Like it was
Yeah.
made it
So,
hard. But
not getting a puppy, maybe the timing just wasn't there yet. Sometimes I have to be patient and wait for the right time.
yeah,
In the
for
meantime,
sure.
Nora just has to deal with being by herself. She finally will bark at someone, which is hilarious. She usually doesn't bark at anyone. But the other day I let her out. I just cracked the door and told her to go shoo shoo. Shoo shoo means
Right.
go to the bathroom. So she goes flying out the door. 2 seconds later, I hear her barking. And I'm like, okay, someone must be outside, or it's a dog one. And she comes running back in the house, and all the hair on her back standing up. And I'm like, that's interesting. So I get my jacket on and walk out the door. And this was at 2 o'clock in the morning when this was going on. And I'm thinking,
Oh wow.
I hope it wasn't a fox. It was a human being walking through our yard.
Oh, okay.
And that was what the ruckus was about. She's like, Mom, there's someone in our yard.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, so Andrea's saying here, Katie, that she's drawing up a pattern for anyone who would like the 6-inch block and can't find the book of papers, and they can email her for it. And so that's an option for people. If you can't find the blocks, get in touch with Andrea over at Mama J Enterprises, and she might be able to get you a
Yeah,
pattern.
yeah, that's a great idea,
Yeah,
Andrea.
thank you so much for doing that, Miss Andrea. That's really kind
Yes,
of
thank
you.
you. That'll help make everybody's life easier that can't get the paper right now.
Yeah. So, yeah, keep that in
Super,
mind.
super.
Yeah. So we will get you organized one way or another. I wasn't expecting these things to sell out.
Neither
Um,
was I. I mean, sometimes it happens because she brings it up in a live and everybody, it's like this mass, let's hurry up and buy it. Or she'll introduce a new book or a new pattern. And I don't generally buy patterns, but I do buy books. And I'll go on thinking I'm going to go buy that book. And I wait till like 12 hours later because I got sidetracked and forgot about it and go buy the book. And I'm like, she sold all those books already? I'm like, it's so crazy how fast. Well, she has like what 100,000 people watching her, I guess.
that's amazing.
Wow, she has a lot of followers, that's for sure.
Yeah,
But she's been doing it a long time now too. So
oh for sure. Yeah,
I
I'll
think,
get I'll get I'll get there one day.
yep, we all will. We hope
Yep. Well,
one time.
you're doing amazingly well with your channel. I mean, you're knocking on the door of you're getting close to 4,000 subscribers. So, you're getting
Well,
along there pretty well.
closer, it's slowed down a little bit, but I think it's slowed down, like you said, because it's been January. So
Yeah,
weird.
it have you have periods where you get a bunch of folks, and then um sometimes it slows down. I always find this time of year you don't get quite as many viewers and that sort of thing there.
I
But yeah,
realized that maybe January is like the satur. Everybody's over has like so over YouTube for about a month, because they got saturated with all the holiday goings on with Vlogmas and everything else,
yeah.
And I
Hmm.
think that might be what it. I during the summer months. Remember me telling you something's wrong with my channel? Nothing's happening yet. Everything just went to
Yeah.
a halt. And you said it's probably because everybody's outside. So now I call it the summer doldrums, meaning that
Hmm.
everybody's out having a good time, and my channel just goes.
And she emailed me in a panic, and she's like, "What am I doing wrong?"
Yeah, I was panicking. I'm like,
I was
my
like,
channel.
slow your roll, calm down. You've done nothing wrong. This happens every year. I notice a dip in my views and everything else, July, August. And it's because people are out at the beach, they're at the lake, they're out
Yeah,
enjoying the warmer months. Like, and that's fantastic. Like, yeah, go outside and enjoy yourself. Go spend some time with your grandkids, and that sort of thing when they come to visit, like where you can always come back and watch later. But yeah, you do notice a dip in your views and your watch hours and everything else.
and
And
then
then you always
September
have to wonder,
back
am I
up.
doing something wrong? And or
Yeah.
is it just part of the beast? And it's just part of the beast. So yeah.
Yep. So I'm happy that you have set me straight on it because once September rolled in and everything was picking, going back to where it was, I'm like, oh,
Yeah. No, if you can calm down, you're fine.
I'm almost got this block ready. Did you see my yeah, I saw that one. Kitty, what is the time you'll find when is it time you'll find a new fur baby? Rita, uh I know I'm coming to the United States for QuiltCon next year, so it'll be um in February, probably mid-February when I come to the United States.
I think what you're saying is when it's the right time, you'll find the fur baby.
Oh, that's what she's saying. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
So
that's how I read it. So I could be wrong though. I'm not always right.
Sherry, hey Sherry, welcome, welcome. Good to see you. She says she thinks January is busy months for YouTube's. we're watching all to see what is planned for 2025.
That's
Speaking,
true too. Yeah, a lot of us are doing like so-longs and plans and everything else. So yeah, there are a lot of videos out there and that sort of thing there. So yeah, I mean, just I always just say plug along, make content that people want to thing, and yeah, it'll take care of itself. It's not going to be consistent year round. You know, you have the summer doldrums like you talked about, that sort of thing there. But I think you do an amazing job. We get people, people show up each week, so we're doing something right. That's how
well,
how I look at it. So
there's people in the chat this morning in my because this is live on my channel today, and I have people in here I've never seen before. So all of you
that's
new
awesome.
people, thank you for coming.
Yes. And then when are you live normally? So
Normally
that
I'm
way, if anyone wants to come back and watch you during the week, because you do some weekday lives as well, correct?
Yeah, so my normal lives, and I added an extra day because I found that I can squeeze. Yeah. So right now, this is the way it's going to be unless something changes with tour guiding interrupting my lives. I'm going to be live Thursdays and Fridays I'm actually live Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays. But the Thursday and Fridays are 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. Um, that's when they'll start. And the Saturdays may vary from being 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. It depends on if I have a guest and what they're up for on whether they want to start at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 4:30. I like the 4:30 slot the best, but I can accommodate. And then there's some live stuff once a month randomly. Um I'll be doing a collaboration with Danny once a month, which is going to be on a Sunday. I have the Sunday live with Sean, which is once a month. Um, and then on a third Tuesday of the month, I have a collaboration with Sherry, which will start this third Tuesday of the month this month. And so it those will just be like once a month things, but the regular one will be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Hey
Yes, you got all
Deb.
all
Hello,
the
Han.
quality goodness.
Yep. So, and and hopefully I will do well with it.
You will. I have faith in you.
I know you do. Okay, now all I gotta do is get this last piece put on here. And what color do I want that to be? I think I'm gonna go with turquoise.
There you go. All right. So we got
That's gonna
this.
really stand out. Ooh, that's gonna be so bright.
But bright is good. I like bright.
Yep, it's gonna be pretty, especially with that purple on top of up underneath it. Because purple and turquoise go so good together. It's
I,
interesting.
I haven't been paying attention, and I apologize in advance for this. But are you using the same fabrics for each block, or are you just doing different ones? Like,
I'm doing different ones. I'm not
okay, cool.
none of them. That moved. I'm just going with scrappiness.
There you go.
Scrappiness is happiness.
Right, so it looks like Hane. I think that's how my Norwegian is horrible. Well,
It's probably Hanny.
Hanny. Okay, my Norwegian's horrible because I don't know the first word. So I won't even. I'm going to butcher it. My accent's not going to help either. So
Well, I'm sure my accent doesn't help it either, but we have a woman here in town, and she's not Norwegian, but she's Greenlandic, but her first name is Hanny.
okay.
And yeah, and everybody calls her Hanny. But it's funny, sometimes you call somebody a certain way, and I spent 2 years using Jolson as my last name when that's not even the right pronunciation. It's Yol.
Right.
Nobody corrected, especially my husband. I'm like, why didn't you correct me? I don't know.
Yeah, my name's mispronounced all the time. I think we talked about it on my live yesterday. But as long as I'm not called late for dinner, I'm really not that concerned about it. So
Yeah. The only reason I didn't know it was mispronounced until I had to do something with the government through the commune. And she says, "What's your surname?" And I told her, and she looked at me like, "What?" She says, "Can I see your residency card?" And I'm like, "Okay." So I showed her my residency card. She's like, "It's not Jolson, it's Yolson." I'm like, and I turned around and gave Nikolai a look like, you really didn't bother to correct me on this?
What Nikolai? All right, Brenda is asking, are you using 1 inch strips? I think we're using 1.5, aren't we?
For these paper piecing, it's 1 1/4. Except for wait,
Oh, that's right, because you're doing the 4 inch. It's 1.5. Yeah, it's a little bigger for the
oh my bad. That one was supposed to be 1 1/2. Up. Thanks for pointing that out. Yep, I used the wrong width on that one. I might have to do a different color now. All right. Thank you for, so all of them are 1 1/4 except for this top part of this step right here. That's 1 1/2. Thank you for pointing that out because I was about to make a big boo-boo.
no.
I was distracted. Let me make sure. Okay.
Here we go. All right.
I love this hashtag fabric. It's so cute.
Where do
One
my
So the background is all 1 1/4 on the steps. It's just this one strip that goes on the very outside of the stairs. That's the color. That's 1 1/2. All the rest of these right here, these are all 1 1/4. It's just this one right up here that's 1 1/2. That's what. That's why
Oh yeah, I
you
see
need
that now.
FPP paper. Wait, what is Brenda talking about? Sherry says she just wants to say hey to everyone. She's having coffee. They should be 1 1/2 inch strips. You mean if you're doing the traditional Chloe? Because according to the instructions here, and I've got them written down, backgrounds are all 1 1/4. And on the colors, all of them are 1 1/4 except for the one where it's 1 1/2 by 5 1/4, which is the top that I'm doing right now. And that was my mistake of cutting that. But the rest of them are, yeah, it's just the one. That one rectangle. But as for the traditional, I don't know, Sean, what are you using?
Sorry, I was looking at something else. What was the question?
The comment was, Coy says they should be 1 1/2 inch strips.
Yes.
So for
Yeah.
the traditional, the way you're doing it, you're using 1 1/2.
Yeah, I'm following the cutting
There's
instructions. I'm just following the cutting instructions exactly. And for the 6 inch block, the width is 1.5 for everything. I just went and checked again for the third time just to make sure I hadn't misread it because I've been known to do that more than once. Yeah, yours is 1 1/4 for everything except for the outside on the 4 inch, but on the 6 inch block, it's 1.5 width the whole time, which makes it nice and easy because the useless. It's just you don't have to worry about the different widths.
okay,
It's all the
gotcha.
same.
Because I'm doing the 4 inch and you're doing a 6 inch, and I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, what? Okay, yeah, you're right. Sorry, Chloe, I didn't mean to make more confusion. Hmm, I forgot about the 6 inch one.
I think it's fun that you're doing a different size block and you're using a different color background. It's a good way to show folks that, there's all different options here for you.
Yep.
All right.
And I don't know if you guys know this or not, but this is the first time I've ever done courthouse stairs.
Yeah, we talked about that last night, and I think I can now call it's basically I want to say this is a log cabin block or close enough to it. Um, and I've always joked in the past that I can't really call myself a real quilter because I've never, ever, ever done a log cabin block before.
Neither
But
have
now that
I.
but now I am. You know, I've done my log cabin block right here. So now I'm officially a quilter. I'm waiting for my certificate to arrive in the mail. Actually, it'll come out of my printer once I make myself one. So there you go.
I
I
have
actually,
completed the log cabin block.
although this is actually a log cabin block as well that I bought recently that I want to make one day.
Oh, that looks pretty. Interesting.
Yeah, it's a
That
little they're like
that
little
looks
ghosts.
cool. Sorry, didn't mean to do that.
Oh, you're fine. You didn't sleep last night, so it's totally understandable.
At least I'm not hacking my lungs up this morning.
I know, yeah, you sound a whole lot better than you have
Than
been,
I
so
did yesterday. That's for sure.
that's a blessing for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just getting distracted a lot, but that's nothing unusual. I'm not used to being live 2 days in a row.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yes.
But at least it's not going to be like that every week.
No, I mean it's good. No, it's nice doing these projects with others as well. Like, usually I have, obviously for everyone that's watches, which I think is most people here this morning. I have my Saturday morning lives, but I'm doing a monthly thing with you here, and then I am doing a monthly block or project with Tammy over at the Siberian Wind as well, which is really neat. We're doing the Fab Farm together, which is a pattern that I've made once previously, but I wanted to do again and enter it into the state fair hopefully this year because the last one I made. Like a week after it was finished, it went off to its new home. It was a baby gift for a coworker.
You did get that finished?
The Fab Farm. Oh, you're
Yeah.
talking about the quilt from the other week, the Hunter Star. Yes, it's happily in its new home.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we gave it to her almost 2 weeks ago now, I think it was. Yeah, I mean 2 weeks ago. It was right before the snowstorm. Good time to give someone a quilt right before it snows. I think we planned that well.
Yeah. All right, let's trim this block down and then I'll show it to you. Are you getting close to finishing yours?
No,
Okay.
but I'm doing seven at a time, so
Oh, okay, gotcha. I'm doing one at a time.
because you can't really chain piece foundation paper piecing, can you?
No,
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I was like,
but you can still, if you wanted to do seven at a time, you could do each row one at a, 7 times in a row. But yeah, I'm gonna do it like this. That way I can't get myself confused.
all right, that is a good question there. Laurie's asking, I might have you answer this one, Katie. She says, will you have a place to post pictures of our progress? Do you want to have them post pictures on your Facebook group? Would that be a good place to post it? Do you want me to do something on Discord? What would you think's best?
Why don't we, because there's some people that don't use Facebook. Why don't
Right.
we give them the avenue of either Facebook, your Discord, or an email?
Yeah.
And if you do it via email, you can either choose Sean or me, and one of us will share it.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, so definitely, yeah, either on Katie's Facebook, over at my Discord group. Yeah, we'd love to see progress on your projects because
You're a mod on my channel, so if you want to post your Discord link, that would be a good idea.
let me go snag that real quick.
And then I'll the bot's probably been displaying the chat for Facebook, but or the Facebook page, but I'll post it. I have to go get it. And
Okay,
then
of course.
because that's a good idea. And I'll also while Sean's doing that, I'll post my email, and if you want to post your email too. So if you do not use Discord or Facebook, you can email us with your project. Email. Here's my email, and then Sean, share yours if you want.
Yeah, I will in just a second. Okay, so
actually,
this
in the bot.
board. Gmail.com. There we go. All right, so you've got your options there. Yeah, I mean the Facebook and Discord are great because that way you can kind of connect with other quilters. You can you're encouraged to show progress on anything that you're working on. That's all because we love seeing what you guys get up to. Like you get to see what I make each week, and same thing with Katie, but we don't always get to see the beautiful projects you guys get up to. And let's all be honest, like other quilters get a lot better than non-quilters. So share it with those that love the craft as well. So I definitely encourage that where possible. So
and
okay, Chloe says, go ahead. I cut you off. I'm sorry.
And here's the Greenland Quilter Facebook group link. And then did you post your Discord?
I did.
Katie, would I be able to put the PDF for the 6-inch block in the file section of your Facebook page? Yes, you should be able to. If you have problems, let me know and I can do it.
And if you want to put it on the Discord group as well, please feel free to do so.
Yeah, share it.
Yeah, put it in both if you can. Yeah, Andrea, definitely put it in both places so that way we cover as many people as possible. You know, oversharing is probably better than undersharing for this sort of thing. So, yeah, thank you so much for doing that. And yeah, I encourage you to do that. Yeah, as well. Sorry, I'm reading another comment here. Andrea says the traditional log cabin block is the 2025 Quilter Ballad block of the year. I did not know that, but that is really, really neat. I might have to do some more of these for another Quilter Ballad thing. That might be something to do. Okay, Brenda is asking Katie and Sean, is it hard getting fabrics there? For me, no. I mean, I live in a fairly large metropolitan area in the US, so I mean, I have access to several quilt shops and that sort of thing there. Katie's a little more difficult, but you shop a lot online, basically, exclusively, because you don't have a quilt shop anywhere close to you, right?
Nope, no quilt shop here.
Not unless Katie opens one.
Well, yeah, that would take getting a bank to finance, and that's not going to happen. We talked to the bank a while ago about doing something like that, and we didn't even get a chance to even attempt to even start the process. It was like, no, we're not doing it. Apparently, the bank has things against fabric shops.
Well, that's sad.
Fabric shops.
Yeah. Well, you only have what 40 or 50,000 people in Greenland altogether. I think it'd be hard to find.
It's 56,000, but our town has 3,500. But that's no reason to just say no. You cannot be an entrepreneur. Did y'all see my block?
Yes. Oh, that's fun.
So see, this was the first. Let me show you. And I know you're gonna see purple, but there's gonna be other colors. You're gonna see me doing warm colors too. So.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, it's going to look really, really neat together when it's all done. You know, with all the different colors and shades and all that sort of stuff. There, I think it's going to look really, really nice.
Brenda, it depends on what you're sending, or how much of it you're sending. The heavier it is, the cheaper it is. The less it is, it's weird.
The way I've figured it out with international shipping is you pay a lot of money for the first pound or two. You may pay $20, $30 for the first pound. The second pound might be $10 a pound. After that, it drops down to like $5. So like, you know, a 5-pound pack, Yeah, so it's kind of like when you hop into a cab, when you hop into a taxi cab and that the flagfall is like $4 to start off, but then every mile after that's only like $2 or whatever it is. It's very, very similar with that with international shipping. Yeah. So if you go to £1 go to, you're probably going to drop dead from the price they quote you. But after that, if the heavier it gets, the better off you are, overall per pound. Like you still got to pay that first high amount for the first pound, but does that make sense? Hopefully.
Anyone in here live in California?
They're probably still in bed.
I want to know if the California dam's water got released without permission.
I know. There you go. All right. So Chloe says she's going to try and get 2 blocks done today. That sounds good. They go together fairly quickly.
Brenda and Chloe said, is that yes to you live in California or yes to something else?
Chloe's in Rhode Island. She's not in California. I can tell
Oh,
you
okay,
that
gotcha.
much.
All right, so they're answering yes to something else. Quilting in the country, Lori says, great blocks, Katie. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Okay, I'm looking at the time. We started.
She's on the East Coast as well. Yeah, I don't see any of my regular folks from Cali. So, well, thank you, Miss Tanya. She says it looks great. Everyone's saying they're all very pretty, and I totally agree with that. So, yeah, this trimming thing has taken some time. All right, so we've got this. But yeah, our next one will be what, the first weekend in March, correct?
Yes. Let's talk about the poll I posted at the top of the channel. I put which do you prefer the most and tell us in the chat why. So the choices you had was traditional piecing, foundation paper piecing, or both. So traditional piecing got 67%, foundation paper piecing 4%, and the one where I gave a choice of both was 29%. So those of you who said yeah, tell us why in the chat, please. And Rita says, here you go, Katie. January 2025, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers released water from 2 dams in California's Central Valley. Okay.
Yeah. All right. This to something else. Okay, so we got that. I'm just trying to see how far I can get before we wrap things up.
Do you think you'll have 1 block finished?
No, but I have the finished one to show everybody. I mean, I figured I did it this way so that way, if I didn't get all 7 of them finished, at least I'd have something to show. So
Batiks or is that cotton?
it's cotton. It looks like batiks, but if you look at the back, it's definitely cotton.
Okay, gotcha. Because I
Yeah.
didn't see that.
Yeah,
I
you said
hit
something about it being batiks.
Andrea says I hit FPP before I saw both. I would have chosen both. I just love quilting, laugh out loud. Chloe says she
I
prefers traditional because she is more comfortable with it. She wants to improve her FPP skills this year. Yeah, I'm not, I mean, I'm not, this is not me being an expert. I mean, it looks like I'm an expert, but I like doing it. Uh, definitely. Now I've never done EPP at all. I don't know that I know how to do that one. I got to
yeah,
learn how to do that first. Tanya says she wants to try it now. She's never tried FPP. Yeah, it's if you want to learn, I'll give you a suggestion. There is a and I'll show you one. And I'll put the link in the chat. If you want to play around with scraps and learn how to paper piece, this is the best block ever to learn how to foundation paper piece. It's super sensitive, uh, easy. This is by Moda Blockheads 3, Love Block by Zen Chick. There is 4 sizes of this block. You can do a 4-inch, a 6-inch, an 8-inch, and a 12-inch. So, and it's easy to do it. And I'll share the link. And this is how you can practice until you get good at it. I will tell you that if you don't watch that you could accidentally do it wrong. But let me
Yeah,
share.
definitely.
I'll share the blockhead. Let's see. It should be let's see if it's this. No, I'll have to go look it up. It might be
Yeah, it's
Motorola.
definitely start with something simple like this as well. So,
Yeah, the simpler, just do a simple thing. You can, there's all kinds of free, you could probably put in Google simple or put free, free FPP beginner patterns. Yeah. Hang on, let me get, yep, I didn't put the right thing in here. Hold on a minute. Let me go get the link, you guys.
yeah, and definitely start with solids or batiks is my biggest tip because then that way you have to worry about which direction the fabric is. That was always something I worried about, and I found that helps me immensely not having to stress about doing it the right way because after a while you get used to it, but when you first start, you need as little distraction and as little stuff to worry about as possible, and that's just one more thing you can just check off your list for not having to worry about.
Rita says she did FPP and loves it. And the one she did had 288 pieces. Here's the Moda Love Block. This is where I think the Love Block is probably where I did my first paper piecing. And you get this little creation out of it, and you probably see there's a bunch of love blocks up there. That's from me practicing.
Mm-hmm. That's the way to get good.
And then you can go when you master just the concept of it, then you find something a little more challenging that's free. Don't spend money on a pattern until you get good at it. Then go from there. Now, as far as these papers from Fat Quarter Shop, this is another way to practice. And the paper's not too terribly expensive.
So
And
I shouldn't have gone out and spent $90 on that toasty pattern that I didn't know what I was doing with.
that's not what I said. I have a legit, hey, I have a legit kit in there, and you know that. And it's a large legit kit. Have I touched it? No. I'm afraid of it.
Don't be afraid.
I'm afraid.
You and I want to talk to you about that afterwards. We'll talk about that after the live's finished.
Yeah, I'm afraid of it.
Yeah, we'll sort something out.
That's why no one saw it sitting on my plan for 2025 because if I put it on there and then I don't even try, people are like, you didn't even mess with it. Yeah, I'm scared of it.
Honestly though, that's one of the reasons Toasty I've had it. I bought the pattern almost 2 years ago, and I only just started it. That thing scared the pants off me too. But you kind of just need to open the box, rip off the band-aid, find this. Some of the pages are really easy. Like some of them have 50 pieces, some of them have 7. Grab the one with 7. Like you don't have to start with A1. Like that's the beauty of these things is you can grab whichever page is easiest, do that first, and once you do page 1, you'll have such a boost of confidence. You'll like, hey, I can do this, and start. That's exactly what happened to me. Like I picked the easiest block. Well, the easiest block was one page full of pepper. I was like, I'm not gonna. That's a little too easy. But I picked one of like 6 pieces. I think it was. It's right behind me. I'll show you.
I noticed when you showed me the back of the one you're working on, the toasty, your seams are so nice. And you didn't press them open either.
You don't. You can't press it. So like I started off with this. It was like the easiest block in the whole pattern. It's like this. To start off with the easy one, and once you finish this, you'll say to yourself, hey, I can do something a little more complex.
Yeah.
You'll have the confidence. You've got to take step 1 and 2. And so you and I will talk about that. We will come up with a plan. We'll get you started on that very, very soon because
Okay.
making that first step is the hardest one. I guarantee you, because I went through the same thing. So I can
So for
promise you
those
on
of
that.
you who don't know, I have a legit kit that was gifted to me through Becca for when my channel hit 1,000. If my channel hit 1,000 by, what was it, Christmas Day was the challenge
Christmas Day or the end of the year, something like that. Yeah. I
of
mean, you had a,
2023 of 2023, and I hit the 1,000 mark 2 weeks before the cutoff date. And
yep.
so she gifted me the legit kits Ursula Major because I added $100 to it so that I could get the big one. And the big one is a polar bear with a baby polar bear. And so it's the big one.
Yeah.
And
You'll have fun with that.
yeah, and so that's what we're talking about. And there's some comments being made here too that I need to go back. Um Rita says she did one F. I've already read that one. Okay, then Andrea says this courthouse steps is very simple. It is very simple.
Yeah.
I put the first one together last night, and I'm like, wow, even as small as it is, it went together simple. I was
Yeah.
impressed because when I was looking at I told Nick and Nikolai, I told Nikolai, I said, you see how tiny those are? Yeah. I said, I'm wondering if I made a mistake.
Yeah.
And then
Nice.
when I sat and messed with it last night, I'm like, oh, you know. Sherry says she likes FPP. Rita says she did hers 100% scrappy, made it a big block on the wall. It looks like a painting type thing. That's cool. You'll have to share it so we can see it. Lori says, I've been doing FPP so long that I still have blocks printed on muslin. Wow.
Hmm.
John says, I have one quilt on the to-do list that is 288 squares in a square blocks. Those will be FPP. Linda, hey, Linda Parsons, it's been a while since I've seen you. She says, I like both, but I need to improve on both. Tanya says, thanks for the advice. Sherry says, wow, Lori. Andrea says, I am going to have to go now. Okay, take care of yourself. See you on the live. Wait, I just did something and I lost what I was reading. Sean's head is on what?
We must have
Rita
messed up
says,
some.
"Oh, how funny. Sean's head is on Katie's body and Katie's head is on Sean's body.
I mean, it
Okay.
looks fine now, so I guess it goofed up. You'll have to go look at that later on.
Is that on a phone or something?
Sorry? I don't
Is that
know.
on, that's interesting. Lori says, Donna, it was what you actually, Donna, it was what you actually sew and flip on. It's kind of difficult to work with, but get the same results. I personally like the paper. Judy says, I think organization would be the first step. I haven't did any paper piecing, but I think if you're organized first, then you won't be so over. I agree with you on
Yeah.
that. And that's one thing I I have been sending some Amazon orders to my friend Melanie. She's making me a box and I ordered so I can use for my legit kit. I ordered a big set of these bags, these project bags. I ordered
Right.
two sizes so that I could separate each of the fabrics because some of the fabrics are big pieces and some are smaller pieces. And I'm going to organize it in that way that, and as I do it, I'll put, when I do piece one of the sheets, I can just place it in with that fabric and it'll be
That's
there.
awesome.
Or at least
All
that's
right,
my.
Miss. I'm gonna need to run away in a minute because we've got some family events planned for today.
Okay. All right. Tonya says she just printed the love block pattern. All
That's
right.
awesome.
You'll have fun with it. It's a lot of fun to make. If you get stuck or anything, just email me at Libby. I'll put it in the email or put my email in here. If you run into a problem with it, just email me and tell me you're having trouble and I'll try to help.
Yep. You're
Lori
always
says,
good about that
friend of,
stuff.
mine, friend of mine got me addicted to it because we couldn't sew straight lines. That's funny. All
Yep.
right. Sean, do you want to tell them, do you have anything upcoming that they need to know about?
Just my podcast just went up a little while ago, so if you haven't seen that, go check it out after you finish here. And then yeah, I'll be back on Saturday. I might post a video or two this week. I haven't decided yet. We'll have to see how time allows. But yeah, go check out the podcast, check out the live on Saturday, and yeah, that's about it for me.
Okay, and I have a couple pre-records that'll be hitting airways this week. So keep an eye out for them. One of them I think is going to hit the airway on Tuesday. The other one I'm hoping to have it ready to go within the next day or so. So there'll be more than one pre-record hitting on the airways this week. Actually, there might be three. So
That's awesome.
keep an eye out for that. Yeah, I'm trying to catch up from being sick. So stuff I was supposed to do last week didn't, or the last few days didn't get done. So I was too sick to do them. So
Yep.
stay tuned for that. Keep an eye out. Um, remember, and we will remind you next month, this will be on Sean's channel.
Yes.
So no confusion here. We told you Sean's channel. I will post it on the community tab. As soon as he gives me a YouTube link, it'll be on my community tab, and I will remind you more than once this a week before the live that we're doing it on his channel. So
Yeah.
remember that, and also look at his web YouTube channel to keep an eye out for that link for when he sets up for the live. So
No, you'll be fine. You'll work it out. So, and if you get to the wrong channel, then you know, just go, okay, it's not here, go to the other one. So make sure you subscribe to both. Make sure you hit the notification bells on both, and that way, yeah, you'll be more, yeah, you'll be fine and dandy on that.
Yep. And thank you everyone, or thank you, Sean, for agreeing to doing this
It's my pleasure.
because I really have been looking forward to this with you. And thank you everyone for coming and watching us this morning on a Sunday morning so early. We appreciate it. Remember to live, laugh, love, dream. And what do you do from that? You create something. So have a great Sunday and see you on the next live. Bye,
All right.
everyone.
Thanks again. Happy sewing. Oh, I hope I didn't disconnect. No, that's fine. Okay, I'll just disconnect the phone. I just wanted to make sure I didn't like leave totally. Well, thanks for having us. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Hang on a minute. This thing, I was waiting for it to end the stream. It's hesitating.